This aircraft should not exist. No tail, no fuselage, no reflections.
Every curve defies radar. Every edge defies conventional aircraft design.
But here's the real mystery. This ghost wasn't built in the sky.
It was built by human hands, inside a factory that had to be reinvented just to make this possible.
Tonight, we hack into the assembly of the B-21 Raider, world's first sixth-generation aircraft.
The factory looks less like an assembly line and more like an operating room.
But before metal was cut, the Raider flew millions of hours in a virtual sky, the Digital Twin. This is not a prototype. The first test aircraft is a production aircraft.
Everything begins with tooling. Accuracy measured smaller than a human cell.
For stealth, smoothness is survival. Every layer is scanned. If a dust mote is trapped between the layers, it could reflect radar. The flying wing. No tail to reflect radar. No fuselage to slow it down. The internal keel is deeper than the B-2. It allows for larger weapons and more fuel in a smaller footprint. There are no paper blueprints. The aircraft tells you how to build itself.
The wing is baked as a single piece. Heat turns layered fabric into structural armor.
It emerges monolithic. No seams, no joints, one structure.
Sound waves search for voids invisible to the eye. There can be no air trapped inside.
It floats. Wheels would introduce vibrations measured in microns.
This is not mass production. It is controlled assembly.
These engines are tuned for endurance, not speed, not noise.
In a flying wing, control is survival.
Before stealth comes strength. Every landing begins here.
Machined to survive thousands of tons, again and again.
Tested harder than any landing it will ever face.
The ducts bend the air. Radar sees only darkness. The exhaust is flattened. It mixes with cool air and spreads out over a heat-shielding shelf.
This hides the heat from infrared satellites. It is a cold airplane.
Testing the limits of the flying wing.
The rotary launcher, capable of carrying the JSMER cruise missile or the B-21 nuclear gravity bomb. Weapon bay. When closed, the aircraft becomes whole again. The windows are small and slanted. The pilot flies by sensor data, not by looking outside. Conformal antennas. They are baked into the skin, not bolted on. No bumps.
Fiber optics. Data travels at the speed of light, immune to electromagnetic jamming. The brain is modular. Software defines the mission.
3 independent flight computers, each capable of flying the aircraft alone. The glass cockpit. Customizable touchscreens. The pilot is a systems manager, not just a stick and rudder flyer. Capabilities change with updates. The aircraft evolves without rebuilding.
Installing the ACES-5 ejection seats for 2 crew members, pilot and mission commander.
The gear doors are simple. Unlike the complex B-2 jagged doors, these are straight lines, cheaper to maintain. Fewer edges.
Cleaner lines. Easier to build, harder to see.
Inerting. The fuel tanks are filled with nitrogen to prevent explosion if hit.
The structure is complete. Now, it must become invisible.
The B-21 is not black like the B-2. It is a very specific shade of light gray. Burnished cloud.
New dielectric coatings. They absorb radar waves across a wider spectrum than ever before.
The B-2 required tape and caulk for every flight. The B-21 does not. It is robust. If light can get out, radar can get in. It must be light tight.
Designed for the maintainer, panels pop off for access and snap back on without breaking the stealth seal. Low observability extends to the markings. You have to be close to see whose side it's on. Weight on wheels. It sits low to the ground, a crouching predator.
From the front, it looks like a flying saucer. The intakes are invisible.
The doors open. The B-21 Raider. A sci-fi concept brought to life.
The show is over. Now, the real testing begins, in the dark. The anechoic chamber, a room lined with foam spikes that absorb all sound and radio waves. It is the quietest place on Earth. They blast it with every frequency known to man, searching for a glint, a reflection, a flaw, planform alignment. Every edge is parallel to another. This deflects radar waves away from the source. They simulate flight on the ground, tilting the massive airframe to ensure fuel flows correctly.
Hail testing. Ice, rain, and freezing wind. The stealth surface sheds it all.
Altitude testing. Near space conditions. Extreme heat. Extreme cold. No failures allowed. Lightning strike. Hundreds of thousands of volts flow harmlessly across the skin. The Iron Bird. A skeletal test rig where the hydraulics and software fight virtual battles 24/7.
Engine tests. No afterburners. The Raider relies on efficient, high bypass power to fly thousands of miles.
Auxiliary intakes. They open during takeoff to feed the hungry engines more air.
Verification of invisibility.
LTI/LTD communications. Low probability of intercept. It whispers to satellites without the enemy hearing.
Flutter testing. If the airframe vibrates at the wrong frequency, it could tear itself apart in the sky.
Flying the mission before the aircraft even leaves the hangar.
It is finished. The manufacturing phase is over. The flight test phase begins.
The first flight is always flown by humans. A Northrop test pilot and an Air Force test pilot.
Trust. The pilot trusts the engineers, the coders, and the builders with their life.
Taxi tests. Low speed first. Then high speed. Checking the brakes, the steering, the nose wheel.
Rejected takeoff. Can it stop a 200,000-pound aircraft before it runs out of runway?
The twin engines spool up. The Raider is alive.
Chase plane is ready. Fire crews are ready. The desert holds its breath.
Airborne. The first new American bomber in 30 years takes to the sky.
The F-16 chase pilot watches for leaks, smoke, or loose panels.
It handles smoothly. The digital flight control system interprets the pilot's inputs instantly.
It is quieter than the B-2. The engines are buried so deep the sound is muffled.
Climbing to cruise altitude. Heading for Edwards Air Force Base.
Edwards, the home of the right stuff, where Yeager broke the sound barrier.
It enters its new home. Here, it will be pushed to the edge of its envelope.
Terabytes of data are downloaded. Every vibration, every temperature, every valve position. Flight 2, Flight 3, expanding the envelope, higher, faster, stealthier. Aerial refueling. This makes the Raider's range effectively infinite. It can strike any target on Earth. But it doesn't have to fly over the target. With cruise missiles, it can strike from outside enemy airspace.
Flying against Russian and Chinese radar replicas. The Raider disappears from their screens.
They find a bug, they fix the code and upload it. No rewiring required. At night, it is a black hole in the sky. The only way to see it is to notice the stars disappearing.
From the heat of the desert to the Arctic freeze. The composite skin must not crack.
Maintainability is the B-2's weakness. The B-21 was designed to be fixed quickly with standard tools.
Simplicity in mechanical design reduces failure points. Robotic scanners check the stealth coding after every flight. No human judgment required.
The world has changed. Adversaries have built walls of radar and missiles that older jets cannot penetrate.
The Raider is the key. It picks the lock, opening the door for the rest of the force.
All weather, all hours. The Raider does not wait for clear skies.
Conceptual authority of the nuclear triad. The most flexible arm of American deterrence.
The B-21-12, a guided nuclear gravity bomb. The Raider puts it exactly where it needs to go.
Deterrence is psychological. The enemy must know it is there, even if they can't see it.
Unlike a missile, a bomber can be recalled. It buys time for diplomacy.
It will lead packs of AI drones. A quarterback directing a robotic team.
It is not just a bomber. It is a mothership.
Not every mission is kinetic. It can deliver information or cyber attacks just as easily as bombs.
It is a forward observer. It finds the targets and guides weapons launched from thousands of miles away.
Any target, anywhere, anytime.
The challenge now is speed. Can we build them fast enough to matter?
The industrial base is mobilized. From California to New York, the supply chain is active.
B-21 Raider is shadow that secures the future.
From the digital twin to production aircraft, we have witnessed the birth of a new species of aircraft.
Join us next time as we push the envelope even further.